They came down, megaships descending from the stars, transmitting massive magnetic fields across Earth. And each time they did, the pyramids of Giza would respond, acting like a speaker, a central hub of energy, connected to every stone site across the globe. Why Giza? Because the rocks used to build it weren't random. Volcanic stones, fresh water beneath, salt water nearby. Everything was designed for maximum energy amplification, a communication system for the ancient ones, not just buildings, but conductors. And as the ships hovered above, they would awaken the engraved stones. Each one vibrated, glowing, transmitting. Some responded through water, others through sky. Each side was turned into a different frequency, and each species would listen in their own way. They didn't choose the phoenix randomly. The figure was designed with purpose. The gap near the ear wasn't just a hidden entrance, it was a symbol of power. Entering through the ear meant command, through listening. It represented direct access to the mind. The transmission weren't spoken out loud, they were delivered telepathically from mind to mind. That's why the head of the phoenix was used for communication. It was more than just stone, it was a control center, a speaker of invisible messages. The figure itself reminded them this is how we lead, not with noise, but with silent command. But everything changed. Far across the ocean, the king of Atlantis stood before a secret fountain, a receiver of divine messages. And as he heard the message coming in, he smashed the fountain. He no longer wanted to hear, no longer wanted to obey. He disconnected. That moment broke the harmony, and the communication between worlds began to fall apart. Storms came, time passed, and many of the stone sites fell, ruined, buried, forgotten. And slowly, the other species began to disappear. They stopped gathering, stopped listening, and went into hiding. Except one, the species beneath Giza remained, shielded by a massive stone, their portal hidden under sand. No one was allowed in until one man was left through, a archaeologist, a seeker. He was allowed to enter, to hear the truth, but only through vibration, mind to mind. An Arcturian, tall and glowing, spoke to him without words. You cannot tell the world we are here, because your people aren't ready. Your minds are too small, your hearts too divided. You will only use what we have to destroy yourselves. And he was right. The evidence is everywhere. Humans wait in line for days, in rain, in snow, just to get a new phone. And if they can't have it, they fight, they hurt, some even kill. How could we ever be trusted with advanced alien technology? That is why they stopped. That's why they left. That's why they only drop tiny crumbs now. A better speaker, a smarter phone, a faster car, but never the real key. Because if they give it to us now, our minds would explode like rockets in the sky. Yet not all was lost. Later in secret, all 10 alien species gather again at one table, but not to return to the old ways, not to reconnect with stones or pyramids. They didn't need them anymore. They had already made contact with the true powers of this earth, not the presidents, not the ones you see on television, but the elites, the ones in charge of everything, behind the curtain, the real decision makers. And it is through them the message are now sent because the aliens knew they are the ones who truly rule this planet. And so the rest of us were left testing dirt, measuring lines in stone, as if the truth could be found in sediment. We launched rockets into lifeless dust while Earth breathes beneath us. They wash, they wait, but they don't interfere. Not anymore. Because when the final gathering ended, the doors were closed and the knowledge was never shared again. And if you're still wondering about what's hidden beneath the phoenix, that patch of wood you see, sealed and ignored, isn't random. It covers the final standing stone, an ancient transmitter, still intact, still alive. It's part of the original Arcturian communication system, the last direct link between Earth and the mega ship beyond. That's why it's covered. That's why it's protected. Because beneath Giza Plateau, they are still here and they are still listening. So maybe it's time we stop digging in circles, stop measuring dust and pretending we don't know. Now that we know what it was and what it became, the truth is clear. Human disobedience and destruction broke the connection. Time has taken its course, and still we do what we want. We refuse to listen. We repeat the same mistakes. Isn't it time we move forward? Isn't it time we understand that disobedience and destruction and denial would never lead us anywhere? Only remembrance will, because the truth is right beneath our feet and over our heads, and it's called Earth. If we don't start protecting it, if we keep wasting time chasing lifeless planets, we'll lose the only one that's truly alive. That's why they're here. That's why they won't leave. Because this is the only living planet in the universe. And we still don't understand that. So let's start using our minds. Let's meditate. Let's connect with the beyond. Let's remember who we are, why we're here, and what we came to do before it's too late.